My name is Michelle Warren, and I have been a part of Open Door Ministries for its entire 20 years. It all started with Miracle on Marion Street. Back in the 70s, there was this place called Crazy Horse Bar and Grill down on the corner of Colfax and Marion, and it was owned by a guy named Sid King. He also owned 5 houses on Marion Street and used them to rent out rooms by the hour to run his prostitution ring. In the 80s, Sid King went bankrupt, closed down his strip club, and all the Marion Street houses were repossessed by the bank. Then, in the early 90s, a group of churches came together with the vision to impact the city of Denver for Christ. Their first project was to come alongside Open Door Fellowship, our little homeless church on East Colfax, and to purchase all 5 houses on Marion Street. They bought them for a total of $100,000, which shows you they were in pretty rough shape. When we think about what these houses are used for today, this truly was a miracle. Places that were once filled with prostitution, drug use, and violence would now be used to provide shelter, discipleship, and recovery to people in this community. Our first ministry we started out of the houses was called Teen House, and it reached homeless teenage girls. Later, we started Treasure House, Esther House, and Kaya House, which all still serve as transitional homes for women.
The Lord's put it on my heart, even when I was in the home before I graduated, that He wanted to use me more in the ministry.
We serve a God who restores people and physical places for His glory, and this was just the beginning.
In the early 2000s, Open Door transitioned from being a small nonprofit to being a more recognizable and influential ministry in our community as we grew and expanded. We saw a need in our church community for safe and affordable childcare, so we started the Open Door Learning Center. This has allowed us to be an influence not just in the lives of the kids, but in the lives of the moms and dads that come by to drop them off and pick them up every day.
Is it important or is it necessary?
Is it necessary? I think it's necessary. It's necessary because families need support. They need an affordable solution for their kids so that they can work or pursue educational opportunities so that they can improve their lives and the lives of their children and their families.
My name is Bruce Vlieger, and I'm one of the directors of Ezra. Ezra is an outreach to street-connected people. We learned that there was this whole demographic of guys and girls on the streets that we weren't reaching. They called themselves street kids. Very few street kids are actually kids. In fact, many of them are adults that hit the street when they were kids between the ages of 13 and 15. So in 2003, Ezra was launched. It was a place that street-connected people could come and create art in a safe, discipleship-oriented environment. I don't believe we're indispensable. God could and does use other people, but we have developed relationships over the years, and within those relationships, I think through that, lives have been changed.
Around that same time period in the early 2000s, we saw an interesting trend start to develop. A lot of the low-income folks that were living in the Capitol Hill neighborhood started moving east. As the price of housing went up, they were moving out to East Colfax, even downtown Aurora. And so we started looking at adding some ministries out there. We were able to add a food bank, some counseling programs, eventually some children's and youth programs as well. And that eventually became Restoration Outreach Programs, which is celebrating 10 years itself this January. In recent years at ODM, we have taken on some God-sized dreams, and they have become reality. One of our partner ministries had a transitional home for men in recovery, but because of financial reasons, they were going to have to shut it down. We took a look at it, and we really thought we needed to do something about it. So in 2011, we were able to purchase an historic property in the Capitol Hill neighborhood, and the house was all ready, so we moved the men in right away. We now call that Lighthouse. As we sought to reach our community more effectively, another God-sized dream began to develop, the dream of building onto our church building at 1567 Marion. We were able to break ground in August of 2015 and completed the project in March of 2016. We call this new space the family room. People come in every day and are able to use the space, use the restroom, get a cup of coffee, just chat with somebody. We always have 2 receptionists on duty to assist people who are looking for resources such as housing or food. We see opportunities to share life and friendship and Christ every day. And God keeps placing big dreams on our hearts. We already went over to the east side of Denver and sort of reproduced ourselves in Aurora. Now we're excited to be planting a multi-ethnic church on the west side of the city. We're hoping to start various ministries as an outreach of that church, just as we've done here on Marion Street. We are excited to see what God has in store as we launch the church in 2018.